This is an afternoon update. This is for Sunday, the 11th of February. This is James Spann. Won't keep you long here, but I thought we'd kind of go through the sequence of events tonight and tomorrow before the Super Bowl kicks off here, and that the weather is quite active. So let's go right to the radar. And again, we're live here at 5:02 on Sunday afternoon. And you can see we have a couple of bands of storms across the state. One is stretched out through the central counties, and that's near a surface front that's between Montgomery and Birmingham. We have a second batch of storms passing through the northern third of the state, and up there, that's cool, stable air. So we're not expecting any severe storms tonight north of Birmingham. And the severe potential tonight all depends on where that surface boundary winds up, who gets in the unstable air. I do want to point out that we have a flash flood warning in effect for parts of Lowndes, in fact, all of Lowndes, parts of Dallas, and parts of Montgomery counties. Thankfully, the heaviest rain is pushing out of that flash flood warning polygon. It's pushing deeper into Macon County, over into parts of Lee and Russell counties and Chambers County in East Alabama. But some very heavy rain. Parts of Montgomery, it picked up between 2 and 3 inches of rain this afternoon. So again, that's a flash flood warning in effect for all of Lowndes and parts of Montgomery and Dallas counties. And again, in terms of the rest of the activity for those storms up in the northern part of the state, there could be some small hail and gusty winds, and they're very loud and somewhat obnoxious. But again, remember, to be considered severe, there's a very formal criteria. The criteria is 58 mile per hour winds or greater, or hail larger than 1 inch in diameter. And we don't have anything like that with that. It's just loud, heavy rain, some small hail. And again, that heavier line of showers approaching Jasper here at 5:03, coming into Smith Lake. It'll be coming into Huntsville, Cullman, and Birmingham later with brief heavy rain and gusty winds. And again, the main concern with the activity to the south for now, flooding. This is a larger view across the region, and you can see that batch of storms lined up from Louisiana through parts of central Mississippi, central Alabama, and central Georgia. So this is the current watch warning map situation across the region. The counties in yellow in Mississippi and Louisiana, that is a tornado watch. And thankfully, as I do this update here, we have no active tornado warnings in any part of the Deep South, anywhere in the country at 5:04. There is a flood watch for the counties in green in Alabama. That does include Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, Sylacauga, Clanton, Alexander City, Roanoke, Ashland, Lineville, into North Georgia and parts of South Carolina. And obviously, we have some heavy rain going on. We have a flash flood warning south of that watch, again, for parts of Dallas, all of Lowndes, and parts of Montgomery counties. And we do note that the Storm Prediction Center has issued this mesoscale discussion, which indicates they might consider a tornado watch for parts of central Alabama near that warm front. And you can see they define that warm front from near Butler to Montgomery and over to about Phoenix City. And the question is, how far north does the front move? It's not moving much at all. It's basically stationary. South of the front, the air is unstable. North of the front, there's hardly any surface-based instability, but sometimes those boundaries can serve as a focus where the low-level winds are backed, and you could see a few rotating updrafts. And I think they'll just be watching radar trends like we all do. And if they begin to see some type of increase in rotation, they might issue a tornado watch, but they might not. Again, it's somewhat of a low-end threat this evening. This is the formal severe weather outlook from the SPC through tonight. And keep in mind, this outlook runs through 6 a.m. tomorrow. And there is an enhanced risk to the west of Alabama. That's a level 3 out of 5 for parts of Mississippi and Louisiana. But so far, really not much has happened over there, which is a good thing. SPC has pulled the slight risk, which is level 2 out of 5, up to Birmingham and Aniana and Gadsden. And again, there could be a few severe storms, but again, the main threat for severe storms tonight, I believe, will be south of US 80, where the air is unstable. We just don't have any instability as far north as Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden. Now, tomorrow, after 6 a.m., we have a risk for most of the state, and a level 2 out of 5 slight risk. This is the probabilistic outlook for tornadoes tomorrow. And you see the areas in brown, and that's where the chance of a tornado within 25 miles of a given point is 5 to 9%. And I really think the core threat of severe storms could be tomorrow morning, maybe into early tomorrow afternoon for parts of east and southeast Alabama. In fact, let's jump ahead and look at the projected radar coming off the HRRR tomorrow at noon. And again, it's really messy. This is a messy convective pattern here. It's not totally clear cut. And that's why I wanted to just talk to you for a few minutes. It's hard to write all this down and keep it short. So if we just get a big mass of rain tomorrow morning and the air stays relatively stable, we could get away with no severe storms at all. But the HRRR does indicate that the unstable air will try and surge northward. This is the instability tomorrow at noon, suggesting the air becomes unstable from Birmingham, Anniston south down to Montgomery, Auburn, Opelika, Dothan, Enterprise. The shear values are sufficient for some rotating updrafts. This is the 0 to 1 kilometer storm relative helicity. And accordingly, we're seeing a couple of elevated STP spots in there. Significant tornado parameter spots in parts of central Alabama tomorrow at midday. And I really think if we have, and that's an if we have severe storms and a tornado threat, it will evolve mid to late morning, early afternoon tomorrow, probably in that 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. time frame through parts of central and east and southeast Alabama. But still, we'll need to watch things carefully tonight. So again, if you're just joining us, we've got kind of a messy, active thunderstorm pattern for the state for the next 20 hours or so. This is the current radar. Again, we're live at 5:08 on Sunday afternoon. We have rain and storms pushing through parts of central Alabama. And again, there's a flash flood warning that was issued earlier for parts of Dallas, all of Lowndes, and parts of Montgomery counties. Thankfully, the heaviest rain is beginning to push out of that flash flood warning polygon, but we've got rain and storms for places like Demopolis, Marion, Centerville, Brent, Clanton, Alexander City, over toward Lafayette Valley and into Georgia. And then to the north, we have that little skinny line of thunderstorms, and those are elevated storms. They're not really rooted in the boundary layer because the air is stable. So severe storms are not expected there, but having said that, they're loud and obnoxious and producing maybe some small hail, gusty winds, and obviously a lot of lightning. That'll be coming on through Birmingham, Cullman, Huntsville, that I-65 corridor soon, and then ultimately into northeast Alabama. But the chance of severe storms tonight from Interstate 20 north is very small. The question is, how far north does the instability rise or achieve this evening? And can there be enough support, lift, if you will, for severe storms? And again, the folks at SPC, they're considering a tornado watch for parts of central Alabama. But again, based on the trends, I don't think one is needed now. We have no tornado warnings west of the state. They have this enhanced risk of severe storms, level 3 out of 5 in place over Mississippi and Louisiana. And very thankfully, we've not had much activity at all in terms of tornado problems there. So if the weather stays relatively quiet, they might hold off on that watch. But still, tonight we'll need to be watching the weather carefully along and south of that red line on that map. That's the warm front that's just creeping northward. And again, you never know when it comes to thunderstorms. Expect the unexpected. But I really think the greatest chance of significant severe weather problems, if we have them at all, will be tomorrow. Mid to late morning, early afternoon, and mainly over the eastern part of the state. The areas in brown on that map. And this is where there could be a surge of instability, and the dynamics are sufficient to support some rotating updrafts, and there could be a few isolated tornadoes in that zone. Anniston, Oxford, south to Montgomery, Auburn, Opelika, Troy, Enterprise, and Dothan. So just be weather aware tonight and tomorrow. We like to give the range of possibilities. That's the one thing we're trying to do in the weather business, is kind of shift away from the deterministic type stuff to a probabilistic type approach. Give you a range of possibilities. The best case scenario, no severe storms. And that's a definite possibility. If we have just big, massive rain, things stay relatively stable, that's a possibility. Worst case scenario, we have some tornadoes involved in the warm sector. I think the better chance of those would be, again, mid to late morning tomorrow, early afternoon, but there could be an isolated tornado tonight along and south of that surface boundary. So, as always, just have a good way of getting warnings, and you know your baseline. It's a weather radio in your home, and that cell service can stop working, but be sure that wireless emergency alerts are enabled on your phone. That's that loud tone out you get for amber alerts and tornado warnings. And just kind of pay attention, and we'll watch it like a hawk, as we always do. That's what we do here. And, of course, if we do get the tornado warnings, we'll hop on the live stream and go live here. So, again, don't want to keep you long. I know the Super Bowl's about to kick off, and goodness, for my friends that work for CBS stations where there's a severe weather risk tonight, our prayer is that they don't have to cut off the Super Bowl for a tornado warning. You talk about the hate mail. Woo! I bet you that would curl your toes if you would see some of that stuff. So anyway, we'll be watching things carefully. I'll be posting updates on the social platforms tonight. The next scheduled video here tomorrow morning about 5:15 or so, and we'll kind of look at the new setup for the day tomorrow at that point. So thank you guys for watching. Have a marvelous evening. We'll talk soon, and God bless.